All right. All right, talk to me, y'all. All praise to the most High. How we looking? How we sounding? Let me know something. How we looking? How we sounding? Shalom, shalom. Good old late night live here on the Urban Gorilla channel. You know, I've been meaning to do more here. Just was busy with all the traveling, and then of course now we moving into Passover preparation and all that. So but if we looking good, we sounding good. Let me make sure I share this. Let me sure I share this right now. Uh, uh. Oh, Mary Lou's, y'all about to throw with the water. Appreciate you. Pre-post. Share this. Y'all can share it up if you like, if you feel compelled. We're gonna be talking about some things. I got this all the way. We're gonna be talking about some things. I'm sounding good though, right? As long as I'm sounding good, because the way this setup is, I can't have the mic. I really need to go get the stands like I got at the other crib. But hey, we live. And again, I've been meaning to get on this channel more, doing more live, doing more content. Just been a little busy. Just been a little busy, that's all. But look forward to, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shimmy Shai, story time wisdom, because there's a moral, there's a message, there's a testimony in a lot of stories. So I was actually editing some footage for this channel that I got over a year ago. Well, number one, I'm gonna use it in season 2 of Gorilla at Large. I know about Gorilla at Large, reality show that we do on CZYN.network. If you ain't subscribed to CZYN, make sure you do ASAP. CZYN.network, a streaming service by and for Israelites, in the truth, commandment keepers, all kind of content on there from entertainment, the edification stuff that's too hard for YouTube, exclusive music, everything is on there. If you're not familiar, CZYN.network. Anyway, um, so but I was going to take a clip of it, right? Because I remember I was talking about we were actually waiting on Sergeant Shamor to pull up on us, and we was right at this Burger King I had got jumped at when I was in high school, right? I got jumped by 20 SA, grown ass man. I ain't gonna give y'all too much about that. Y'all go over it. But I was watching the clip over because I was like, all right, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put it on the Urban Gorilla channel. I knew it was short, but I didn't realize I didn't really delve into the story as much as I really should have or could have. I kind of just was keeping it like, this happened here and then something else significant, you know, a shooting happened across the street that I was almost caught in, and at a different occasion. And I just was kind of talking about it, just talking about the deliverance of the Most High, how the Most High, brought us through different things, but I didn't really go into the stories. So I edited and I said, man, I ain't gonna put it up like this because I'm gonna do like a podcast where I talk about, or just like a story time thing, and then put it in with the clips where I'm actually at the location. So I'm definitely dedicated to um putting that type of content here on this channel, right? On this channel. So shalom to everybody. You know, uh where we at? All praise to the Most High. Let me just share this a little bit, and we finna go into a few things, man. We are definitely gonna go into a few things and give y'all some tales from the 223. It's still February 23rd on the West Coast. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the 24th technically, but I started live at 2:23 a.m. And I'm gonna talk about the significance of that, because we're gonna give some testimony, and we're gonna look at that scripture, and we're just gonna talk about some stuff, man. On this channel and the content that's done here. If you are still unfamiliar with the Urban Gorilla channel, this stuff is not, in depth, as in depth Bible instruction as the other channels. This is more lax. Sometimes you're just gonna hear us talking about any and every old thing, but this is important. And some people, they don't understand the importance of this side of the ministry, but you have to understand that we got to be relatable. These people that we're telling about this truth, these Black and Hispanic and Native Indian people we reaching out to and telling about this truth, they need to be able to visualize themselves, keeping these commandments. And it's very helpful to a large portion of them for them to see that we're relatable, regular people like them. We just, we're fighting the fight against sin, and we're becoming, victorious, through the Most High, through His Son, Mashiach Yahushua, through the Holy Spirit. So, I just want to have all that on the record. Class gonna be big tomorrow though, on the main page. If y'all are looking, let me make sure I'm sharing this on. I got a couple more things to share this on. Salakia. Boom. Put this on Instagram, and then we're gonna get into it. What's good though? Talk to me. I see we got 34. Y'all can share it up. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to talking tonight. That I can promise you. I'm going to get to talking tonight. All praises. How y'all feeling? Y'all leave? I preach. Shalom. Live now. How we feeling though? I see y'all up on this late night. That's a beautiful thing. So as y'all see the title tonight, the importance of avoiding BS, right? We know what BS means, right? We're already 20 minutes in, so we can say it some bad language. Bullshit. The importance of avoiding bullshit. It is a skill. Avoiding bullshit is a skill that a lot of our people have not picked up on yet because they stay in some shit. I'm telling you. The importance of avoiding bullshit. The scripture there is Proverbs 22:3. It's tales from the 223, right? Cash App, $ SICARRI. So when you put the Cash App in there, feel me? Shout out Mike Allah getting his money, right? Forever live faithful love, man. What's the deal, brother? Yeah, somebody put the Cash App though, in the chat for me. I appreciate y'all. There you go, Mike Allah. Appreciate you, King. So man, this stuff is important. It's important. It's important. The importance of avoiding bullshit. So again, Tales from 223. So I did another video called Tales from 223. I did with my wife, who, is from the 223 along with me, right? What does that mean? It's particular, as y'all can see in the thumbnail of the video, it's a particular address to a particular apartment complex, right? 223 Smile Axe Road, Vista, California, between Cross Street, San Marcos, California, right? That's where I met her at. Her and I lived in there. Both my older two kids is from there, etc. So it's a significant address and landmark in my life, right? Elijah Hopeful Elect says, how do you operate in the plantation with co-workers in the world, right? And I'll take questions tonight too, but questions along that. If you're looking for a breakdown, get on class tomorrow, right? But questions like that, we deal with just wisdom and things like that. That's what we're gonna mostly focus on here on this channel, right? So he says, how do you operate on the plantation? You operate, brother, like you have sense, right? What do I mean by that? Johanna Levi, I appreciate y'all. But me, I shall water for team support, bro. Israelites, Hebrew Israelite, people who know and are practicing following being a Hebrew Israelite. Doing what we're supposed to do is who we are as our lineage. Y'all kill me, right? And it's not your fault entirely, right? I understand that this is new, this is radical, This whole thing is different than anything that we've ever done, that we've ever been exposed to, right? Here's what you have to understand, right? Um, if you just read the Bible, right? Let's start with Abraham. Abraham was not a fan of the people of Canaan, right? But Abraham went to Canaan. Jacob, not a fan of the people of Canaan, but they went into Canaan and they dealt with those people. They did business with those people. They respected those people. They honored those people, even though they didn't necessarily like those people, right? So you don't have to like people in order to deal with common courtesy and respect. We're dealing with nationhood. We're dealing with reclaiming our heritage, right? You don't have to walk around the world with a chip on your shoulder. You don't have to walk around the world hating people because of who they are or what they do, right? Paul gave us some game and some wisdom, which is, if at all possible, live peaceable with all men, right? So somebody can be not an Israelite. Let's say they're an Edomite. Let's say they're a Hammer. Let's say whatever they are. Who cares? When you're at the job place, when you're anywhere out in the world dealing with them, there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing wrong with you respecting them, right? With you doing right by them, etc. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Doing that is not inviting them into your home. Doing that is not having one of them take your daughter to wife, right? Y'all be looking at this the wrong way sometimes. Like, this thing is not about like hating people. It's not about hating people, right? The frustration, the angers, what some would classify as hate is subsequent of the mistreatment of our people, right? We love our people so deeply that, of course, we have a hatred for those who have done us wrong, right? But our people are so myopically minded, right? Our people are so myopically minded that we don't even understand what hate is. We don't. We only understand hatred at the lowest level possible. And when you only understand hatred at that low, that myopic level, you're missing the big picture. When you only understand hatred at that level, you don't understand how much you actually disarm yourself, right? That white boy at your job, do you think he likes you? Right? Now he likes you. Let me take that back. Do you think he likes your people? Do you think that when him and his buddies are around each other, that they don't make several racially insensitive jokes? Right? Malik Davis just said, I tell heathens congratulations when they're expecting a child. And me, good for them. Right? Good for them. You know what? It's a problem. Like, our people have a problem with only understanding this stuff at the smallest level. At the same level, like if somebody doesn't have a swastika, they're not saying white power, you don't think they're racist. That's not what racism look. That is a form of racism, right? But if you ask me, that is the lowest possible form of racism. Major racism happens on a systemic level. This is why people say, well, black people can't be racist, right? Now, there's a certain context where they're correct, because we cannot implement systemic racism. We do not control any major system to the capacity that we can actually be racist, right? But any system that we control, we can know, right? So you control a system. What system do you control? You control, let's say, your house. So you can systemically practice it within your home, right? You can do that. But that doesn't mean that when you're outside of your home and you're interacting with people in your day-to-day life, that there's something that you have to do. There's something negative, there's some type of negative. You have to just screw face up at everybody and, whatever. Listen, man, that's not, if that's what you're doing, you're not, you do not understand what you're involved with being an Israelite. You don't really understand. You don't understand nationhood if that's how you're acting, right? And what do I think about real apology? I mean, Johanna, I'm gonna address that tomorrow. But the scripture is so clear. Proverbs 6, it says, the Most High hates, 6 things the Most High hates, right? And one of those things is when there's sort of discord amongst the brethren, right? But no problem, Eli, hopeful. Like I really hope that helps you, right? And I'm saying all that to say that we all can be there, depending on where we at in the walk, depending on how, I praise the Most High for the growth that He's allowed me to have. And I praise Him for how He has programmed me to think, right? He's understanding this and understanding this nationhood, man. It's so beautiful. If y'all saw the video that came out this week dealing with the different Christians at the Super Bowl, like dealing with them and still maintain being respectful, D Hart, y'all about to measure with the water. It was like Tristan. I cut Tristan so bad. And then I said, hey, well, Tristan, you're leaving. Okay, I understand. Listen, if you'd like to come back, man, we'd love to talk to you, man. I hope you have a good day. He was so defeated intellectually. There was no need to be rude. He was totally defeated. But if you do want to be rude, there's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying is, right, like Paul also said, certain things are lawful, but they're not expedient, right? So every approach is not necessarily the wrong approach, but sometimes there's a better, more wise approach that's more conducive for what you're trying to accomplish. So being rude to the people in your workplace is typically not going to be conducive for you in, maintaining longevity in that line of employment. It's not, right? Yeah, and like it's like Defense said, they be beef all the time. They don't agree. So, whatever with them. You feel me? Right, like Rahman said, time and place. Time and place. Just like them, they go home, man, they make jokes. But guess what? They'll wear a damn football jersey with a black or Latino man on it and cheer for them while they, win football games and baseball games and basketball games for them. These same people, because they understand racism. You see what I'm saying? They understand it. Our people, we thinking like so minuscule, so myopic. We got to stop thinking just in general. Some of us think so small. I've been seeing, the incomparable Andre Taylor, Gorgeous Dre been going into this. We think our mind is myopic. I've been getting frustrated. Somebody I know in my life, and they think so small. And I just want to tell them, and I'm gonna tell them, there's something so ill. I want to tell you I'm not gonna tell you what I want to do, right? To really wake this person up, shake this person up. But I just want to tell them, I want to take them to the top of a building. And I want them to look at the whole city of Atlanta. And I just want them to go, you need to have your perspective here. Your perspective is too close to the ground. Small. We got to stop thinking so small. We have to think big. As people who are telling the world that we're the ones fit to rule the world. And we the next powers of the world under our king who the world called Christ Yahushua. We got to think big. We got to think not your favorite idiot. Like seriously, like more than quantum thinking. You got to think. You got to think big, man. You got to think big. And thinking big, bring me back to my point. Thinking big will help you avoid bullshit. You hear what I'm saying? Thinking big is going to help you avoid bullshit in your life, guaranteed. Right? I remember. I'm testifying tonight. I remember. Oh, I remember. Oh, let me block this chair. I don't want to. I remember freshman year, man. Freshman year PE, man. Right? And as I start to tell stories, man, there's certain names that you're gonna hear about. And I was with my boy Quake. Shout out to wherever Quake, wherever you are in the world. Uh First legal name, Jordan. Wherever you are in the world, brother. I hope you're doing all right. I ain't seen that brother, man, in quite some time. Quite some time. Uh Last I heard of him, he took the police on a high speed chase. That's the last I heard of him, and I heard that from my little brother heard it when he was in juvenile hall. Right. Last I heard of Quake, man. Years since I seen him. Right. So it was freshman year in Quake, man, and I'm gonna be telling different stories about Quake. I think I've told some, but I'm talking tonight. So with Quake, Quake had a few different dynamics going on in his life, right? So Quake, his whole family on both sides, gangbangers, right? His mom's side was like from Skyline and Emerald in San Diego. His dad's side, I think they was from Lincoln, right? So Lincoln Park Bloods, Skyline Pyru, Emerald Hills, the Bloods, aka the Uptown Bloods. That's all Southeast San Diego stuff, right? He had one cousin that I think was from the set, was from Hoover, and that's it, right? So I encountered him for the first time because we went to different middle schools. He went to Madison, I went to Washington. So I encountered him for the first time uh in summer school after eighth grade. So I had to go to eighth grade summer school because my GPA was low because I didn't do no damn homework. I never been in the homework. So typically everybody had to go to summer school who either if your GPA was low or if you failed one of the standard tests, right? So I had to go because my GPA was low. I just had to do one session of summer school. So I first encountered him in summer school, and we seen each other. We didn't really hang with each other though, but I remember him from summer school, right? I remember him from summer school, and uh, well, now it wasn't credits because we wasn't in high school yet. So this was after eighth grade. To get into high school, we had to pass that session of summer school. So, and to paint the picture for y'all, this is 2006. No, 5. Yep, 2005. This is the summer. No, yeah, the summer of 2005. I had just got shot, right? Um, so summer of 2005. Oh, Israelite defense absences. I was not at school, especially once high school came. Middle school and elementary school, I was typically late, not so much absence. But once high school came, nigga, I was not at school, right? So with bro, like I seen him, and so I met this girl in summer school, Hawaiian girl. Her name it started with a K. I want to say it was Kristen something, Hawaiian broad, right? During this time, if people knew me from high school, like the Polynesian girls, like that was my niche. That was my specialty. I was having all of them. I was having all the Polynesian girls, right? So now for real though, brothers, I was having all the Polynesian girls. So she Hawaiian, boom, crack her. Um, and then she the first person who said his name to me, right? Because I think they had used to talk like in eighth grade or whatever. I ain't give a damn because I was up on it. Whatever. It's always Sicarii. It's always a female. But so I didn't really talk to him, but I knew who that was. So when I moved to California, not even California, when I moved to San Diego County, when I moved to Vista, California, there was there was something that like the way they started school earlier than we were used to going to school. Like where I come from, Tacoma, Washington, you don't go to school until after Labor Day. You never start school until after the day after Labor Day is when you start school. That Tuesday, right? You don't start school before Labor Day. When we moved out there, they started school in the middle of August, August 20 something, August 15, all this August school starting. We not with that, right? Me, my father, we don't understand that. So my dad would never even put us in school that early. He didn't check me in to freshman year until like halfway through September. So what happened was I get shot, boom. He's my dad already trying to send me back to Washington for the summer though. But I got to go to summer school. So after my first session of summer school, I only had to go to one. Boom, he sent us back to Washington. So we go back to Washington, stay with my grandma. Every summer we with my grandma. So boom, we with grandma for the summer. Beautiful time. Man, shout out to Miss Mary, man. Rest in peace, Miss Mary. I love you so much. And you know, with my grandma, boom, fucking around, doing what I do. I'm fresh off a damn gunshot. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm back home, back on the hilltop. I'm running around, you know, with my niggas doing my thing, whatever. Boom. So we get back, we go back to Vista, boom, and it's time for school, right? I'm checking into Rancho Buena Vista High School, RBV, boom. So, boom, I check in the RBV, and it's crazy because I was with my nigga Marcus, and I remember my first day at Rancho, I see my nigga Courtney, who they both texted me today, and they both had just seen my no jumper. So, big up to them, man. Two of my best friends of my entire life. Two of the greatest people that I've ever met, man. Big up to them, brother. And so boom, I check in to Rancho. School's already in session. So boom, I got third period PE. I always my whole life had every year I had periods, I had third period PE. 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. After 9th grade, I checked in the independent study, so I didn't have periods no more. But 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, I always had third period PE every year. Right? So boom, I got third period PE, Mr. I don't remember his name. Hammond, white dude, look like Burt Reynolds, glasses, big ass mustache, right? And I go to line up and I see Jordan. He the only familiar face I see in this whole class. So even though I didn't say a word to him the whole summer school, I just instantly like, nah, like this finna be my nigga. This is finna be my nigga, I promise, right? Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like. I'm like, all right, this finna be my nigga. For sure, this finna be my nigga. Right? So, me and him just kicking it. And then, you know, he, man, Quake, man, he just didn't give a fuck, man. And I'm going to explain. So, I meet him, I'm start kicking with him, and, you know, I'm not with the dressing out for PE shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in high school now, like, my focus is, like, especially after getting shot, my focus is not on my studies. You feel me? Like, really, from when I moved to California, because just to give y'all a background on my school, like me at school, I'm talking that shit tonight. Me in school, my academic career, so to speak, right? So I kind of told the story. If you see my no jump, I told the story. We used to run the halls, gang banging in the hallway, claiming and stuff in the hallway first. And really second grade when I really started that. By third grade, I was turned up so much. And when I say I'm just a bad kid. It's not like had brought a gun to school or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But we just so turned up so much that, and it was cold because my best friend, he moved school. So we was getting bused across town to go to school on the north end of Tacoma, right? We from the hilltop. We going to school way on the north end, right? And we was catching bus 45. What's my nigga? Terry. I think Terry used to drive the bus. Terry's from the hood. Drive the bus. Right there on 12th in traffic. So we used to get bused into Jefferson. Clear on the north side. We get bused in Jefferson. A lot of niggas from the hood was getting bused in Jefferson. Whatever. So, man, I remember my best friend, he ended up going to Stanley. His family switched him to Stanley, but like that school was like right by his house. And Bryant was right by my house. But anybody who know Tacoma, Washington, You know, Bryant is the worst school. Bryant, I never been in Bryant, right? But all I know is how Bryant used to get talked about. Y'all remember Fair East Side High School when the first day when Morgan Freeman showed up? That's how people were talking about Bryant Elementary School. Like the teachers were molesting the students. The kids was getting out of school, going across the street to, what was that? What was that store? Shibe's, and going and they were selling the elementary school kids cigarettes. Like these are the stories we heard. I don't know if any of it is true. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if a single solitary story that I heard out of Bryant was true, but these are the stories. This is what was being said about Bryant Elementary School. I just want y'all to understand, right? So because that's being said about Bryant, they ain't sending me to Bryant, even though I can walk to Bryant. It's probably 4 or 5 blocks from my house, right? They not sending niggas to Bryant. My parents wouldn't, right? I was already going to Jefferson because we used to stay closer to Jefferson, right? So they just kept me at Jefferson. But there's other options, right? You could go to Bryant, you go to Stanley, the Hilltop schools, elementary school, Bryant, Stanley, and then Franklin, right? Bryant, Stanley, Franklin. Let me tell you something. Ask anybody especially if they're from the Hilltop. Ask anybody about Bryant, right? So again, the Hilltop elementary school, Bryant, Stanley, Franklin. Boom. And then, you go on from there to Jason Lee. That's how it goes, right? Boom. They said, hell no. We sending your ass. We keeping you at Jefferson. But a lot of niggas was getting bused in Jefferson at that time. That was from the Hill. Because Bryant was so bad, you had to bust kids. Because a lot of people didn't want to send their kids to Bryant. Just be real. The reputation that is the worst reputation of any school I've ever seen. And it's elementary school. I've never heard of a school with a reputation probably worse than that. Other than I've heard about kids, bringing guns to school and stuff like that. That probably was happening in Bryant too. Let's be real. This is the Hilltop in the 90s, in the mid 90s. It was going down. Anyway. So, boom. So what happened is my best friend, they moved his ass to Stanley. Which again, make more sense. It's right by his house. I stayed on 8th Estate. He stayed on 12th Estate. Right? So Stanley is right there. Like from his house. So it just made more sense. But I was kind of hurt. I was acting out already. So they moved me out of the 3rd grade class, Miss Wheeler's class. They moved me out of the 3rd grade class into the 5th grade class because I was cutting up so bad. So they were like, look, if we put him in 5th grade, he's not finna try the 5th graders. He's trying all the 3rd graders. But this little nigga is not going to try the 5th graders. And they were right. I wasn't trying the 5th grade. Them niggas was too big to me. 3rd grade, I'm going to try you. I'm not scared. We can do it. 4th grade, it's a wobbler. 5th grade, I'm leaving the 5th grade niggas alone. And no, I wasn't trying the 5th grade niggas. I wasn't crazy. So they put my ass in the 5th grade class, and they would bring me packets of 3rd grade work. They X'd me out of all the activities of 3rd grade, the end of the year part, everything. They put me in the 5th grade class, right? So what happened? Boom. So I'm just acting out. So, but mind you, it's elementary school, so academia is not that serious, right? 4th grade, they moved me to Grant. Now I'm going to Grant. Grant is a wobbler school too. So a lot of niggas from the hood is going to Grant, but there's white people that going to Grant because it's on the north end, but it's barely on the north end. So just I got to give you all this understanding. When you do what Tacoma Washington, right? Hold on. My wife. My wife texting me. Let me send her this link. So anyway, I got to give you the background on my city, right? Tacoma Washington. Tacoma Washington is like this. You got the north end, you got the west end. Then you got the south side, and you got the east side. Notice, 2 are sides, 2 are ends. The west end and north end, that's where white people live. The south end, the east side, that's where like black people, Native Americans, Asians live. This is when I was growing up. We didn't have a lot of Latinos out there like that, like we do now. Now it's a lot more Mexicans out there. We have like a few Mexicans, a couple Puerto Ricans, a couple Cubans, like, scattered, sprinkled, but mostly black people, and then like Vietnamese, Cambodian, Korean. Like that's what we had, right? So anyway, we had that going on. And whatchamacallit. So this is how it goes. So again, the north end and the west end, that's where white people stay. South and the east side, that's the hood, right? I live on the south side. The hilltop, that's the south side. That's the first thing. You cross from the north end to the south side. The first thing is the hilltop, and then partially what they call central Tacoma, but half of central Tacoma is really just the hilltop, right? So, um, anyway, so Grant is on the north end, right? Grant's on the north end, but it's barely on the north end. So you got kids from the hilltop and then north end kids. So it's a fusion of the hood and white people, right? All at this one spot. And don't get it twisted, it's the northwest. So because it's the northwest, it's like white trash people all through the hood too, ghetto ass white people, white gang members, all we got all that going on, right? Whatever. So understanding that, boom. So I go to Grant. When I go to Grant, I got a teacher, the greatest teacher I ever had in life, which is Miss Manis, right? Miss Manis. So Miss Manis is from Alabama, right? And Miss Manis, she was friends with Dr. Martin Luther King, march with Martin Luther. You can, if you listen to "I Have a Dream" speech, you can hear her yelling in the background, right? So just an amazing teacher, and she spent the entire school year not teaching us a damn thing out of the book. I promise you, she just taught us about life. She taught us about the civil rights movement in the South. Basically, just dog walked all the white people all year long. She really empowered us with a lot of information. So I really excelled in her class. And we really didn't do no schoolwork till the end of the year, till it was time for standard tests and stuff like that. And then she actually she gave me she gave me every month there would be awards. Every month there would be awards at the school assemblies. So every month it would be a different subject would get an award for every class. So she had gave me the social studies award, right? Um, I don't really know why she gave me the social studies award. I can't tell you why she gave me the social studies award. But for whatever reason, that really invigorated me to take social studies serious, which is just history, to take history serious. That made me very passionate about history. Her giving me that award. I love her perpetually, eternally. For that and many other things that she did, man. Um, man, Miss Madness. So she gave me that social studies award, and that really invigorated me to be passionate about studying history. Right. So that's where I likely had some type of zeal for it prior to that, but that is a defining moment in my life. Um, her giving me that award, defining moment in my life. So from there, she actually, toward the end of the year, allowed me to instruct the entire class on social studies for like probably 2 weeks. I'm talking about I was creating lesson plans, giving homework assignments, everything. I'm literally at home writing tests, photocopying them, bringing them to school, like all that. She let me teach history to the whole class. Um, Definitely shout out to good teachers, to the whole class for like 2 weeks. She let a couple other students teach other subjects as well, but she gave social studies to me. So I instructed social studies. I did, I think, a Caribbean section, an African and Middle East section, and an Asian section. Boom, boom. Right. So so yeah. So that's when I really began to take study seriously, right? There. And then also I was in anger management counseling, right? Through welfare, through DSHS, they had got me a counselor, anger management counselor, right? Because I was just cutting up. Like I said, they took me out of third grade, put me in the fifth grade class. You know how it is, man. We just young and we just angry and we just lashing out. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm not at school, I'm running around the streets. I'm around a lot of older kids and under the influence. And that's when the gang stuff and all that start coming in for me. So I was just acting bad. And I had this anger management counselor. I bounced around and then I think I settled with one. And that counselor really just kind of helped me manage my anger a lot. So I kind of just, after fourth grade, I was able to really take school seriously, right? So then, boom, fast forward, I'm in fifth grade. The water sister Israel Gray. So that's sister, right? No, that's a brother. Salakia, I'm over here tripping. Israel Gray, that's a brother. My bad. The water. So anyway, what happened? Boom. So at this point, this is when my pot's bags start getting real big, right? My pot's bags start getting real big. So we move on up, and my wife texting me all this stuff. I'm live. I just told her I'm live. Right. So anyway, so my pot's bags start getting big. So of course my mom, she want to put, now that the money is there, she want to put us in private school, like Catholic school, like she went to. Right. So boom, we go to Catholic school 5th grade. Right. There you go. So we go to Catholic school 5th grade. So when I get to Catholic school 5th grade, I really start to excel academically. I was having a few little problems, you know, but Catholic school was an experience, right? So 5th grade, I'm in the Catholic school. Is me and Pete Peterson. He was the only other black kid in my class, not in the whole school, but just in my class, 5th grade. Pete Peterson, right? And it was like maybe a Mexican or two sprinkled in, and Asian or two, and everybody else was white. So, but Pete Peterson, I'll never forget him. And I don't want to drag it, man, but he was a coon in training. I'm gonna be honest. He was a coon in training. So so anyway, but shout out to Pete. And whatever, I really excelled academically at private school. I was really able to, so much to the point where they start sending letters about college and all that already when I was in 5th grade. So then, but during that time, that's the time when my mom, she was real deep off into substance abuse. Super deep, right? She'd always been dealing with it, but like she got deep in. Um, deep in. Deep in. I ain't gonna chronicle that too much. That's not what it's about. I'm just trying to give y'all an academic background so I can set the stage properly for the story. She was deep in, right? So we end up moving to California because she told my pops, listen, you move me to California, I'm gonna get off the dope, basically. So, and again, my pops, he started having it. He started having it his way, like he started having it his way. So we moved to California. So moving to California really threw me off as far as caring about academics. Once we got to California, I really stopped giving a fuck about school. I can't really say why. I don't know if it was, well, truthfully, I didn't want to move. Let's start there. I just didn't want to move. And then when I started school, like, cause like a 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I just went to white schools. So when I started school, like, I just hated it, to be real with you. I really disliked moving to Orange County. I really hated it. You know what I'm saying? Um, 6th grade. 7th grade, we moved to Huntington Beach, and that was cooler, right? Um, Johanna, man, if that's what you want to do, bro, if that's what you want to do whatever you feel compelled to do. But the work got to get done. That's always got to be priority. But Huntington Beach, I like better. There's more diversity for sure. Definitely a lot more diversity. But and it was what it was. But by the time 8th grade come, like now I'm back in the hood, which I like, but the realities of being there is setting in. Meaning there's street shit going on. So there's definitely really no time to focus on or care about academics. So I didn't give a fuck no more. So I say all that to say, 9th grade, I see my nigga Quake in PE. I'm like, bro, I'm not with the dressing out shit, bro. I'm not getting dressed in this bullshit. Feel me? Doing PE, nigga. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. So, um, and we would sometime, but for the most part, so boom, I seen him the first day, then the second day, I'm like, bro, I ain't dressing out, my nigga. He like, all right, I ain't dressing out neither. So I start hanging with them nigga Quake, right? And Quake, I meet him, boom, again, his family, all his family gangbang, both sides, right? All his Parus, Bloods, one Hoover in his family, right? And he's a tagger, right? That's what he do. That's where he get the name Quake. That's the name he wrote. That's his tag name. He's a tagger. So Quake is a tagger, and you know, he's tagging, he's telling me, he's teaching me about this tag and stuff, but he want a gangbang. He wants to be a Crip. That's what he wants to be, right? He's making that very clear. So, and he's ready to crash out at any like him. That bro is a real crash dummy. Like he's with the crashing out at all times. And now when I get that background, just to get that background on him. So of course, all his family is gangbangers, but him, he lived in a very nice neighborhood, right? It's called Brookhaven, right? And you know, people familiar with the Shadow Ridge area in Vista, y'all know that's a good area. But he's on Brookhaven. I jokingly would call it Crookhaven, but Brookhaven Pass was a very, very, very nice neighborhood, nicer than any neighborhood I ever lived. Um, and his mom, them, I think they was Jamaican and white. Yeah, yeah, Jamaican and white. But his mom was with a white man. Quake really hated that, and I feel him. Right? He hated that. So a lot of what I think was kind of driving him was alienation from his pops, resenting the fact that there was a white man that was, you know, kind of presiding over him and his household and things like that. Like he was kind of rebelling. So he just wanted to crash out at all times. He just be coming to school talking about killing over. He like, man, let's do that, let's do that. But I just thank the Most High, because the Most High, He always instilled me with wisdom. So I'm with all the bullshit, but I'm not with anything too stupid. I'm not with anything that doesn't come with uh thorough planning for the most part. For the most part. We all make mistakes, but I'm with the thorough planning, right? So we had this Mexican dude we had up in our class, and he didn't gangbang or nothing like that. Um, and we was cool with him. But I got into it with him one day, and I banged on him, and the tension was in the air because I know his ego was bruised a little bit because you know it's something about banging on somebody, right? When I bang on you, you gotta bang me. You have to say something back. But if you don't gang bang, there's nothing you really can say back to me, other than f your hood, or, you know, f that, or I'm killing that. You do something like that, well then it's gonna happen instantly, right? So it was what it was. So Quake come to me and he like, hey man, like, hey, we should smoke that nigga, bro. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Quick, what are you talking about? We just had like, it really wasn't even all that. We just kind of got into it. It wasn't really wasn't all that. Quake like, nah, we should smoke this. I'm telling you. Quake just wants to kill somebody. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm like, all right, Quake, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, I said, Quake, I said, ask yourself this, bro. I said, is this altercation gonna matter 2 weeks from now? No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. No, let me go back. Let me go back. I said, is this altercation going to matter 5 years from now? And he said, it's probably not going to matter 2 weeks from now. I said, then why the fuck are we making permanent decisions? That's my question. Why will we make a permanent decision like deleting some damn body over some BS altercation if it's not going to matter? Nobody going to remember it in 2 weeks. What's the point? But I just praise the Most High because at 15 years old, he already had me thinking like this. He already had me looking at the future. He already had me making more sound decisions than a lot of my peers, even older ones, by his grace and his mercy, because he gave me a mind that thought deeper into things, right? And this goes into the scripture of the night that we're going to minister upon, which is Proverbs 22, 21, 21. Where we at? Proverbs 22:3, right? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. A prudent man foresees evil. That's so important. A prudent man foresees evil. You need to be able to, I need to look at that and go, okay, so let's kill him. And now we're in prison for life. And this whole situation is not going to matter 2 weeks from now. Now, that's an obvious call. And that's not so much the call that I really want to get into, because that didn't happen at 223. I'm trying to get y'all to tell them 223, but I'm just trying to give y'all the understanding of the importance of avoiding bullshit. If me and Quake both was on one mind and one accord in that situation, we could have did something totally stupid that would have jeopardized and ruined our entire futures, our entire lives over nothing. You have to avoid bullshit. Everything does not deserve your energy. Everything does not matter. You have to really assess things, bro. You have to assess. It's so important to assess situations. Does this need to be addressed? How much energy do I need to give this? Is this going to matter in the grand scheme of things? Because there are things that have happened. I'm telling you, there are things that will happen in your life that will seem like the end of the world in the moment where they happen. And 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years down the line, you damn near forgot about it. Everybody be done forgot about it. In the world we live in, especially today, things are moving so fast, people are forgetting all kind of shit. So you need to be able to foresee evil. You need to be able to avoid bullshit. The prudent man avoids bullshit. A wise man foresees bullshit and steers the fuck clear of bullshit. Simple men continue into the bullshit and they reap the reward of bullshit. You know, could possibly be death, prison time, etc., etc. You gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch it. Which brings me to my real story tonight, right? I didn't even plan to tell that story, right? And there are several other things with Quake, and I love him so much, man. That was listen. Quake was stepping for me for sure. So I appreciate Quake so much in my life. You know, for the time he was in my life. And again, last time I heard about Quake, man, he was in a high-speed chase with the police. So I hope that brother all right, though. I really hope he all right. You know, because it's a lot of people, man. And I just praise the Most High for his grace and mercy. Because I'm going to be real with you. It's not because of, we got to remember, man, it's not because of us. There's nothing so great or so wise or so smart about me that I've avoided things that my peers have fallen victim to. It's simply only the grace of the Most High. That's really it. Because you can't explain why. We can't explain why the cookies crumble the way it has, other than it was just a divine plan of the Most High. I praise him, I worship him, I thank him for it, because I'm nothing without him. But you know, moving forward, I mean, that's my name, Eliezer Alazar. God is my help. He's helped me. He's guided me through all these situations. So anyway, to my point though, because it's called Tales from the 223, right? And I got to give you a tale from the 223 on 223, right? Still, it's no longer even 223 on the West Coast, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I think it probably is in Hawaii, right? Anyway, so the 223, man. Some of you back around here. You know, I went through so many things, man. I went through so many things in my life. And you know, where should I start this story? I went to stay with my brother in Pennsylvania for the summer. I got into my pops. I had to come back to California. When I come back to California, I don't got no place to stay. My nigga Chris Loco, he let me stay up in his house. He had an apartment in Escondido, California. Him, my other best friend, which is Sliz, Joe, who I just was with in Phoenix. Y'all seen my Instagram. I just posted a picture of me and him when I was out there in Phoenix. That's my heart right there. Me, him, and then they cousin / nephew, because he's Chris's cousin and nephew. Am I wrong? Chris's cousin and Chris's nephew. And he's Joe's cousin, which is Slim. And I know Slim be watching the channel, so big up to Max Slim out there. Heard you expecting a baby, man. Blessings to your family, brother. Blessings to your family. That's our God, right? So anyway, boom, he like, man, Chris like, man, come stay with me. All right, cool, boom. We go stay with Chris. I go stay with Chris and them. We in there, boom. So then what happens is, man, Chris let his sister get her power bill in his name, and they ran it up like six, seven, eight, $900, something like that. So what happened is the power gets shut off, right? So we got to pay the power bill. It was like damn near $1,000. When he paid the power bill, he ain't got no money for the rent. So we end up getting evicted, right? That's when I'm 18, 19. I turned 19. And so after that eviction, I kind of was in the streets. And this is when I'm probably like a year into the truth. Boom. I get a job at Sonic. They had opened a Sonic in Vista. I get a job at Sonic. I work at Sonic for like a month. They fire me. They fired a gang, but they fired like then everybody that they initially hired because it was all the hype. Just like now, like in Atlanta, they opened up a Whataburger. The line is crazy. Listen, that Whataburger is trash, and that hype gonna die fast. Don't y'all worry about it. If it's over 24 hours, I'm gonna fuck with it. I ain't gonna lie, because after the pandemic, the 24-hour eating industry in Atlanta has been decimated. So if it's open 24, I'm gonna slide through. I ain't even gonna cap. Other than that, it's just like Waffle House. I gotta eat it when nothing else is open. Anyway, so boom, they fired me. When they fired me, what you think I did? I went, nigga, and bought some work, and now I'm slanging, whatever. So I'm kind of doing my thing during that time, but I don't have a place to call home. So I might be at a hotel one night. I'm at the homegirl house this night. I'm over here. I'm kind of just bouncing around, bouncing around, bouncing around, bouncing around. Right? I'm bouncing around. I'm selling work. I'm doing my thing, whatever, whatever. And then Chris come to me because Chris trying to get Chris local. He trying to get some extra money. And Hayes, my little homie, my crimey. Shout out to Hayes Loco, man. Shout out to Hayes Loco. And they like, man, boom, let's go up. Let's go in on an ounce. I'm like, all right. Like, now mind you, up to this point, I was doing real good for myself. Real good for myself. Just me having my operation, moving this work. Mind you, though, I am in the truth, but I'm very new in the truth. I'm totally by myself, no contact communication really with anybody. I'm just like to rationalize and justify it in my head, and this was wrong thinking, and the Most High showed me that in time. But to rationalize it in my head, I go, well, they're gonna get high anyway, so I might as well profit from it. Right? I wasn't turning people on to drugs. I was, turning on existing users. I mean, not turning on. I was supplying existing users. Right? Just trying to have my money because I really didn't. Other than Sonic, I never had a legitimate job before that. So I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Um, so yeah, them burgers is trash. So I'm like, all right. So Chris and Hayes come to me. They like, look, we trying to go in with you. Because what I was doing, I'm just getting halves, booming, 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 booming. And I'm listen, I'm doing my thing, man. I was doing my thing. And I had my homegirl at the time. Shout out to Carissa, my homegirl. She was helping move a lot of weight. She was helping me move a lot of weight. And I'll stay over her crib. I was just bouncing around. So, but I was just doing my thing, doing my thing, doing my thing, doing my thing. So what happens is I go in on an ounce with Chris Loco and Hayes Loco, two of my greatest friends, and everything go bad. Everything, all of a sudden, just everything is bad. It ain't moving. Number one, we go to a new plug, right? We go to a new plug than the ones I've been dealing with. That's how I've been man, I was having it. I'm telling you, I was having it. This is like during that time. During that time, that's when like people, all this rapper weed, all this ridiculousness is going on, all these names. This is when the names first start coming out. This is 2009, beginning into 2009, beginning of 2010. When people was talking all these names for all this weed. I had that Blue Dream, Afghan Goo, Diesel, not the sour diesel, just regular diesel. With me, I was a finesser, right? And again, I repented of all this, so don't judge me, right? So I'm only getting, I'm business minded, always have been. So I just said, okay, instead of going big, I'm gonna go small, right, with the halves, but I'm gonna and just rewrite it back up. I'm reading back up again. Blue Dream, Afghan Goo, uh, Diesel. But what I did, like, again, I'm a finesser, so boom. I remember when I had the Diesel. When I had the Diesel, boom. Carissa, she smelled it. She like, what is this? She like, it smell like grapefruit. Boom, we rebranded. I'm telling niggas it's grapefruit diesel. It's regular diesel. I'm telling niggas it's grapefruit. I'm just cracking niggas. And mind you, my nigga Joe, he bought me my scale, which is a little orange hand scale. But I didn't have a scale at first. I'm eyeballing, Listen, I was stretching it. I was stretching it out. I'm selling niggas 0.4. I'm charging for 0.3s and 0.4s like it's a whole gram. As long as we're dealing with density, as long as we're dealing with quality, we're going to get away with it, which I did. Right? So I was cracking. Boom, 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 boom. Then here these niggas come. They want to go in for the big one, for the whole Oscar. Okay, cool. Boom, let's get the Oscar. We go through a new plug. It's some bullshit mid. And this California, bro, niggas ain't fucking with the mid. You got to go fuck with like niggas' moms and grandmas and shit. You want to sell some mid. Kids ain't fucking with the mid. It's fire out here, right? So the Most High, he brought it into my drug enterprise at that time. Through listen, I'm eyeballing. listen, I'm coming through eyeball. Boom. I'm eyeballing, cracking niggas, right? Oh, I'm cracking niggas. Eating, right? There's only one nigga called me out. And shout out to him. He said, hey, man, hey, this sack looks skip. I said, man, come here. I'll swap you out. Boom. I swapped him out. Swapped him out for 0.3 for about a 0.7. Still charge. What did Pushati say? I charged him like you was cake. So, like, I repented of all this. I repented of this. All right? I want to make sure that's clear. I repented of this. Right? Yeah, bro. Ain't no mid. Forget about it. Right? No, I asked, though. But my work, it was so, when you got the quality, when it's fire, people forget about the fact that they got skimped. I'm telling you now, right? And then I had myself and I had the sales girl. I had Carissa. And Carissa was popular. She was popping. Niggas wanted to get with her. She was all the bitches' friends. So she helped me move a lot, right? Shout out to her, right? Robert Marquez, you feel me? So you know what I mean? Just one way, all of it smelling. Like I said, grapefruit diesel. No one ever heard of it. It's not even real. It's regular diesel. But I'm telling people it's grapefruit diesel. Nigga made up a strand of weed. Right? Ain't to the day. Shout out to you. All praise to the Most High. I just serve the Most High. So anyway, I had yeah, but like you said, I got like, she was like one of them ones. And you know, me and her was on some strictly platonic friend shit. You know what I mean? I never, you know what I mean? She had a boyfriend at the time. What's my nigga? Nathan. And you know, but she was me and her was real close. So and then her little brother, like she was like a an unofficial Crip lad. Like she was, you know, she wasn't as from nowhere, but you know, she fucked with the Crips and her little brother was a Crip and you know, shit like that. So um she was like definitely hit the light too. So she would help me move. So, but I go in with these niggas. I got a good operation going by myself. Fucking great operation. I go in with these niggas, Hayes and Chris. We go to a new plug. We get some bullshit mid-grade weed that nobody buys, and we're just sitting on a bunch of dead stock. And now I'm just derailed. I'm derailed. I'm derailed. I'm derailed. All of a sudden, you know, because everybody stayed with Chris and Grandma. Chris and Grandma start politicking. And It didn't go good. So now I can't really like I'm losing all the spots I had to stay. I ran out of money. I can't get like I'm dead in the water. So due to me being dead in the water, whatever, I go back to Washington. Mind you, we lost the apartment already. So boom. So I go down to visit. So when I go back to Washington, that's when I get into doing the work. When I actually start teaching the Bible, things like that. So I'm leaving through the working trial. I'm leaving selling drugs alone, and things like that. Okay, cool. So I I come back to visit California for like a week, and Chris. That's when he moved in to Jurassic Park, Smile 223 Smile. So Chris like, my nigga, like, bro, like all the homies is like, bro, like we need you. Right? You remember on Menace to Society, Bartholomew? Remember he couldn't come on the porch? He said, but mom, the gang needs me. That's how I felt, right? Uh Shut that dumbass shit up in my mother. See, we ain't on the main page, so I'm gonna talk that shit to you. Shut that dumbass bullshit up in my motherfucking chat. And watch how you talk about my elders, bro. Straight up and down. Watch how the fuck you talk about the elders, bro. Niggas talking about Ak and Khan and talking all this Hebrew and talking they know they're a Hebrew Israelite, but they call the people that fucking they learned from and pioneered this shit FBI agents. How the fuck do you sound, bro? Shut up talking. Anyway, that shit crazy. So we ain't on the main page. I'm talking wet on here. Urban Gorilla, nigga. Anyway, so boom, he at Jurassic Park. He like, bro, niggas is like, bro, the gang needs you, bro. You gotta come back. The homies need you. This shit ain't the same. My little brother and Hayes, they like, look, we got a whole new generation of little homies we just put on. They quarter niggas on. My nigga YBK, my nigga Nux, free Knuckles out there, motherfucking CMC right now. Bro, tapping it with me at least a couple times a week. Shout out, bro. Feel me? Molly Wop, HIP. Who else? All them young little hitman, like they had a whole new little generation of little homies. Sonic, which whatever with him. But they had a whole new generation of little homies, right? So they're like, bro, like, come on, come back. What do you need us to do? We got the set cracking, nigga. We got a place for you to stay. We need you back. But mind you, I'm conflicted because now I've been believing this stuff, but now I'm actually actively teaching. So my mind is prioritized on the ministry. If I can't come back, if I can't come somewhere to teach the Bible, I'm not doing it. So X, Y, and Z happened up in Seattle, where I get up out of there and I come and I'm start teaching out there. I move out there. So now, boom, we there. 223. This is the beginning of the 223. I'm giving y'all that. So my first week, I come out, I come back like the end, like the last day of July, beginning of August. We got the set day, the set day August 3rd. So we have a set day function August 3rd, right? And and that's the picture. If you go to the picture, which I posted today, the Throwback Thursday I posted today, right? If you go to it, the second one, the one that's from, I said it's from 2011. Yeah, that's 2011. I'm bugging. That's 2011 for sure. So this one, if y'all can see it, that picture, that's from that day, August 3rd, 2011. So, boom, we need apartments. Like this, the set now. Like, so, where I originally like all the original niggas that got put on, boom, boom. It was on Invest on Melrose Olive and Melrose Park condominiums. Boom. That was it. That's Melrose. That's the murder block. That's what we called it. Boom, boom. That's it. But everybody ended up getting moved up out of there, right? And they totally changed Melrose. They put cameras all in it. Like there wasn't no hanging out. Us, the SA, shout out to SA homies that was in there. Like they got all of us up out of there. So the set changed. Now the set is Jurassic, which is 223 Smile Life. Like that's where we at now, which is the other side of town or whatever. But whatever. Um, so we there. So the first night we there, boom. We functioning, we having our little set day barbecue festivities, whatever. And we go Boom, my little brother them, the little homies, they call the bras. You already know how it go. Barbecue, house party, call the bras. Where are the bras? Where are the hoes? It's like it, but just how we thinking. So boom, they bring these girls over. And so these girls, they kind of, it's it's summer, so I don't think it's the weekend, but it's summer. So you already know, like everybody out of school, whatever, whatever. So they kind of send they my brother and my little homie's girl. So this is high school still. I'm like just a little, I'm 20. I'm 20 at this time. They're like, in high school. So it's a couple older ones, a couple of us older dudes, me, Chris, Slim, and and then it's whatchamacallit. It's all the younger homies after that. So, niggas who like 18, 17, 16, around there, 15 and younger. So they call their little bras over, right? They like young bra, like their age, whatever. So the bra starts sending out the address though, like people, because you know how it go, like people hitting them, like, what's going on tonight, like where it's at. And of course, this is under 21. So this is under 21. So because it's under 21, it's we all under 20, or most of us. I am, and everybody else. Only Chris and Slim is over 21 at this point. Because it's under 21, we like, it's house parties. We doing a house party thing, whatever. So, people hitting them up like, where it's at, and they send out the address. Now I gotta go backwards. So when I show up, the homies is into it. The homies is in two different conflicts. Wait, one or two different? No. One conflict at this time. One conflict. My fault. And the conflict that we in is with some people who I know. I know some of them. I know like the originals, right? It's a clique, but the clique kind of like grew into a gang, right? And it initially had people from different gangs in it, but a lot of them niggas stopped claiming their gang and just went this way, right? But they wasn't Crips or Bloods or nothing like that. It was just some stuff, right? So I know a lot of the founding members or whatever, right? Of course, I know a lot of founding members. So, but the homies, boom. So it was this girl I went to school with, beautiful sister. Her mom was from the 7th. And my little homie YBK, he tried to get at her at a party. She with some of them niggas, they don't like it. This before I get there, right? So they don't like the homie getting at her. But mind you, none of them are her boyfriend, right? None of them are her boyfriend. So he get up on her, boom, boom. They don't like it. The little homie, he's a Mac. He's not playing. He's about having a brawl for sure. Shout out, bro, too. Y'all seen him on my IG. He been out here today a couple times, fucking me. So he doing well for himself, man. And that's something I could say. Like majority of my homies, man, that I really ran with, foundation, like brought into, that line of life. They doing all right for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not a bunch of niggas dead. Not a bunch of niggas in prison. Not a bunch of niggas strung out on dope. A couple, but most part, everybody is, successfully, quote unquote, playing the game of life. So shout out to the homies. So anyway, YBK, like, he get at the girl, them niggas get mad, right? Mary, look, y'all about she mad sharp, thought about the water again. So them niggas get mad. So YBK bang on them niggas. Soon as he do that, all the homies just swarm, boom, rumble at the house party. Right? Ooh. Rumble at the house party. Anyway, rumble at the house party. Boom, and go up with the homies in there. Right? Go up. So what happens is That happened. So now it's on with them niggas. It's on with them niggas type deal, right? So they called me. They like, boom, that happened. So when I come down and move back in over there, this is what's going on actively, right? So I'm coming in. We're in a conflict. Now, mind you, I've just been focused on teaching the Bible. I got my website, my blog going at the time. That's how I'm getting my money. And that's it. But now I'm coming, and this is where I'm gang banging 6 days a week, teaching the Bible 1 day a week. This is 2011, December 2001, August 3rd, 2011, right? Remember, I come in the truth August 3rd, 2008. That's all key. So there's 3 years in. And so the girls is at the party, or it's not even really a party. I mean, it is, but you know, it ain't a major house. We don't just invite people. It's homies only, and then whatever broads homies call. That's really it. If you wasn't from the set, you wasn't hanging out at the crib. Period. So whatever, boom. They call the bras. The bras is over. The bras are sending out the address like this is the spot, like this is the house party spot. Boom, eyes pull up. So they do it. So basically, the homie get wind of it. My brother get wind of it, like that these bras sent the address out, and they like, man, bitch, like, you know, you wasn't supposed to do that. Mind you, this is the first night of us really cracking this off. It's the first night of us having this. They didn't know the rules. They didn't know how this go. They didn't know how serious it was. Shalom. I do sometime, right? But they didn't know how serious it was for them not to do it. D-Heart, y'all about Shemel, y'all got that water, right? So they didn't realize how serious it was that they couldn't do that, right? Girls was kind of green at the time, whatever. They fought with the street niggas, but they didn't get it, right? Everybody young, so it's whatever. So anyway, so she like, oh, like, well, I just sent such and such the address. So boom, my brother like, oh, nigga, she done sent the opposition the address. Mind you, they not even using this word op ain't being used, whatever. But it's just so popular now, whatever. So whatever, the ops pull up. But because she was forthcoming, we're aware of this. So now we're anticipating, right? So I now lead the homies outside, and I'm now planning an ambush of sorts. Nigga, go right here, go boom, boom. So they pull up. So this is what we do. My fault. Let me not jump. So we tell the bras, like, all right, well, they pulling up, cool. We finna come with you outside to meet them so they can go exactly where we want them to go, so we can see about these niggas, because it's on with these niggas anyway, right? So what happens? We come outside, boom. So we on what we call the dark side. What is the dark side? Why we call it the dark side of Jurassic Park? It's very simple. Because on this side, it's like a side street, a back block, and they really ain't no lights. It's dark over there, right? So we call that shit the dark side of the mall. It's really, it's the side that's dark, right? People just park there and walk. It really ain't nothing going on there but parking. So they pull up, boom. So while I became my brother, they're trying to just go get on them. Like, all them niggas is right there. They get out the car. We finna go get on them. Now, this is important. This is where the scripture come in. The importance of avoiding bullshit. A wise man foreseeth the evil. When they pull up, I see that trunk pop. My brother and YBK is still charging. I had to grab them niggas. Nah. Hold on. That trunk pop, I see some chrome shit come out. I see a couple chrome things come up out of that trunk. I said, nah, nigga. Hold on. So I'm looking, right? Chrome thing seemed kind of long. Pause. So I'm assessing the situation. I realize these aren't guns. They don't have guns. They have golf clubs in the trunk, not guns, right? So I go, okay, boom. I pop in the street. I tell them niggas fall back. I pop in the street. I start screaming, banging on these niggas. Oh, yo, bitch ass nigga. Ah. Them niggas just got in the car and drove off, right? But had my little bro and ran up without being prudent first. them niggas could have thought they came for a fight and got a damn 9 iron to the side of their damn head and been in critical condition in the hospital. So it's important to be prudent. Let's look up the definition of that word prudent real quick. Prudent, right? Prudent, acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Oh my God, acting with or showing care and thought for the future, right? From the late Middle English, from Old French, or from Latin, prudent, right? Contraction of provident, meaning foreseeing or attended to. You got to foresee. You got to care about how this situation is going to go, not just being a crash dummy. And my little bro and the little homie was really finna be on some true crash dummy shit. Why is a serpent? Like you said, Holmes said, duh. Some true crash dummy shit. They were just gonna run up and potentially eat a golf club. That wouldn't have been good. And that would have been a horrible way for me to start my first day back, right? So again, I saw it, but I had a feeling them niggas was pussy. And they was. I knew when I got the roaring on them, it was probably gonna drive them away, which it did. But I knew running up on them was a bad idea because it don't matter pussy or not. A pussy can shoot you, a pussy can hit you with a weapon. Said any of those things can happen from a pussy, right? Any of those things can happen. So that was good. But these are just a couple examples of the importance of avoiding bullshit, right? How you can be prudent, how you can care about and foresee the future and stop yourself from heading to a path of certain destruction, heading down a path of certain judgment. You can foresee that. That's of overwhelming importance to care about the future. You have to care about the future. That transfers so much. Even let's take a look at your spending habits, right? Your spending habits with your money. Like if you know, like there's a couple people I done talked to in the last couple of weeks, and I asked them a question. And the question I asked them was, how much are your bills every month? Neither of these individuals knew the answer to the question. Neither of them. They had to sit there with me and pull their calculator on their phone and add up their bills. See what I'm saying? And you as a person, as a responsible adult, you should have a calculation constantly, a number always in your mind of the essential bills that you have to pay on a monthly basis. Because that should be there in all aspects of budgeting. So when you look at your bank account, you don't start over projecting the money you have in that account. Why? Because you're familiar with what's coming in and you're familiar with what's going out and you know what needs to be handled. So that's always there. So if that's there and that's always accounted for, then you're not going to put yourself in a position of hardship if preventable. You're not going to go out of your way and make a careless financial decision, right? Because you know what's coming. That's also a part of a prudent man foreseeing the evil and concealing himself. You're keeping yourself, you're hiding yourself from evil when you watch your spending habits, when you budget properly to take care of what needs to take care of at all times. This can be applicable to so many different aspects of life, right? Like D Hart said too, that's a good point. Reading the energy around you. That's of so much important, right? Could call you. Shout out to come on. Exactly. Come on, no. And I'll be real with you. That budget and stuff, I get that from Deacon. Deacon is listen, before I met Deacon, I'm just be full disclosure. Before I met Deacon, I didn't know nothing about having no money, budgeting no money. That's why the Most High never gave me no real money before I met this nigga. My brother, one of my greatest friends in the world. Because I really didn't know. I I had no business having no money before I met him. For the Most High brought him into my life. I'm taking my damn shoes off because I had no real conception of budgeting, how to have money, Before that, if I had $1,000, I say I have 1,000. I'm just going to spend $1,000. I wouldn't think about tomorrow. That's retarded. You got to think about the future. Think about the future has to be in mind, right? You don't want to think too much about the future that you lose your present, but you want to be factoring in the future and the implications that your decisions can have on your future, right? And if you think about that, things like that are going to stop you from going to jail, stop you from bullshit, period. It ain't got to be as serious as jail. There's so many other bullshit scenarios and situations that you can land yourself in and not go to jail or not be dead, right? But that you can avoid through being prudent, through being a prudent man. Let's look up that word for prudent there in the Blue Letter Bible, right? In the lexicon. Proverbs 22:3. And this 223 thing, I just praise the Most High, right? I'm going to talk about that too next. Irawam in the Hebrew, and it means subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, shrewd, sensible, prudent. So even being crafty, sensible, there was a sensibility thing to go, no, I'm not just going to run up on guys who just got out of a car. I'm going to wait to see if possibly there's a weapon, number one, because they did come over here with an agenda, with a plan. They knew they was coming to where the ops is at. So they probably weren't coming empty-handed. They probably came with some semblance of a plan. So sensibility was applied there. Again, prudence applied there. Then there was craftiness, where I had a feeling that if I roared, if I played the lion, they would run scared like the hyena, right? And I did that and it worked. All praise to the Most High. So there was prudence there. And guess what? We were able to enjoy our nights. Did I yell? Did I scream on them hoes? You bet your ass I did. I screamed on them hoes. And we never had a problem like that again. And they came around plenty after that. Right? So that's prudence. But going into 223 and the importance of the scripture, the significance of the scripture, just with Proverbs 223, 22 and 3. And again, the address of that home. Because some people, they get into these conspiracies, numerology, things like that. I don't deal with any of that. Of course, people will use, oh, these guys 17, 15. What do those things really mean? And those things have significance spiritually. That's the importance of that, right? Even when brothers, you see us throwing up different numbers in some of our photographs. These are representing our different tribes. For 3, that's for Levi, 4 for Judah, et cetera, et cetera. The number in which the tribes were born, representing that. These are important. These have spiritual aspects. Bruce Mega, y'all about me, y'all break it down what the water. Appreciate y'all. Right. So, and hold on, brother D Hart said niggas used to think the next day may not come, so it's here to blow. Mindset messed me up. Yeah, and you do, because Yahweh told us about that as well. There's a balance between factoring in the future and caring too much about the future, right? There's a balance between those things, because you're also not supposed to think too much of the moral, right? Because some people, again, will lose their lives and use that as an excuse. What I mean lose their lives is basically sit on their hands where they could have been getting something done because they thought too much on tomorrow, right? But you need to factor how your decisions will affect you tomorrow, right? So, it is what it is. But we don't deal with any of that. So 223 is important because, of course, there's that Bible verse, right? But it being the address again of this location, these apartments, the Mariposa apartments in Vista, California, a landmark in my life, a landmark for my homies, a landmark for my family. Again, I met my girl in there. We lived in there. My daughter lived in there. My oldest son came home from the hospital there. So that's a significant location. And then 2 + 2 + 3 equals what? 7. So completion. So really it represents completion. And there I completed my life in the streets and truly began my ministry, right? away from and apart from, you know, the ministry that, you know, guided me into the truth. So it symbolizes just that for me, completion. I completed something. And then also that scripture, Proverbs 22:3, how important it is and how applicable it is and how much I utilize it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua in my life before I even knew it. And then reading it just made all the sense in the damn world. Get your 223 shirts now, though, as well at urbangorilla.com. 223 on the front, and then Proverbs 22:3 on the back. And of course, the 223 bullet being a, you know, a powerful, high caliber bullet. And it's symbolizing the weaponizing, you know, of my relationship, of my family, weaponizing it against all opposition, right? That's what it really means. So it has extreme significance to me. Extreme significance to me. And you know, periodically I'm gonna hit y'all with, like it says here, tales from the 223. I'm gonna hit y'all with tales from the 223 periodically. I just figured with today being February 23rd, it'd be important for me to minister that Proverbs 22:3 and give y'all a couple. I'm sure I have more stories along with that, and over the course of time, it's gonna go. But that one I just told was, you know, the kind of the one that's been sticking in my mind, and then, you know, I end up telling the one dealing with Quake. But you know, there's I'm sure going to be many more, right? But if y'all want to ask me anything again, if y'all want scripture breakdowns, Flux Friday is tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on the main page. Tap in there. I got you. All right, I got you. But if you got any questions concerning wisdom, questions concerning me personally, you know, anything like that, you can ask now. Ask away now. Now is the time. You about to cop the camo hoodie, all praises. All praises. Got the orange, the blue, and the red. So you know. But you know, any my fault. I think my focus is here. Would I get my Quran? What type of dumbass question is that? Hell no, I wouldn't take the Quran. But it's easy for any of us to say now, isn't it? If some of y'all talking this Quran talk, y'all gonna take that damn thing. I'm gonna hip y'all to something. It's some people out there, right, who teach that, you know, the Quran, what the Quran is correctly, right? The chip, the mark, right? And some people that aren't. But there's gonna come a time where some of the people who are teaching the wrong breakdown now are going to have a revelation in the moment and refuse it. And some of y'all that know it are gonna fold. Just watch. Just watch. Some of y'all are talking the good shit now are going to fold, right? I pray I'm not one of them, but you know, that's the most high will at the end of the day. I pray I'm not one of them. Don't take the charagma. Don't take the chip. Right? But any questions though, man? Again, wisdom, game, personal, stuff like that. Brother Slide for sure. Would you like to touch on the train crashes? No, I ain't dealing with that right now. I'm not dealing with that right now. Again, that's a class topic. That's a class topic. But I don't really. It's all crazy. But you know, I don't really have any insight on it. To be honest with you, anyway. Do I think earthquakes? Well, of course, it's part of prophecy in times. There'll be earthquakes in diverse places. So of course, for sure. For sure, for sure. You know, but come on, man. See, it's funny. My IG audience be having better questions. You know, as far as the type of questions that I'm looking to be asked for this type of content and on this channel. IG be asking me some good stuff. Where is YouTube. Y'all much deeper on here, or deeper than IG typically is, right? But I'm gonna be doing this again. I'm not gonna commit to a schedule necessarily for this yet, for these type of videos. But y'all subscribe. If you ain't subscribed, make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit that bell so you are notified. So you are notified. I'm in that area. Yeah, I'm aware. I really don't know what to make of it. I know I'm not gonna call it a coincidence though. What do I know about that Birth of a Nation or Roots, man? Well, I got the Nat Turner in the school. I got the Nat Turner uh, painting tapestry from the newspaper article about the revolt. Birth of a Nation is one of my favorite movies. I saw it in theaters 2 times. Saw it 2 times in theaters. I cried the first time I cried pretty much the whole movie. Second time I cried probably 60%, 60 to 70% of the movie for sure. Right. And then Roots. Of course I seen Roots when I was little. Is Blueface and Krishan a plant to confuse people? No. I just think they are damaged Israelites. That's all. Why am I calling the heathen Jews when they are not? Let's deal with this stupidity, right? It says, why are you calling heathen Jews when they are not? Why are you calling Yahweh Shai Jesus when it is earth pig? Why should we trim ourselves? Fuck the heathens, bro. Call him Messiah at least. Right? So let me explain something to you in your myopic brain. Paul said something so amazing, right? And he said, I become all things to all men so I can win some. You should take that advice. What does that mean? You have to speak in terms that are generally understood if you expect to teach people who are not in the know already. There are people who are hungry for information. There are people who are watching some of these videos for the first time and they're not familiar with certain terms. So you have to speak in terms in which they understand in order for them to get it, right? And all that getting, get understanding. We're supposed to minister understanding. We're supposed to minister grace unto the hearers, you idiot, right? You are commanded by your Lord to be a fisher of men. You cannot catch men with bait that they do not recognize or they are not interested in. So if you want to be a more effective fisher, take some fucking notes. And go your ass in time out. Yeah, man, you just Johanna, you gotta just stay true. That's that test. The Most High coming with that test. He gonna have that sin. You remember what came, right? I'm gonna do a whole thing on this. You gotta remember, sin lieth at the door. Sin lieth at the door, right? Meaning Satan is there constantly at your door knocking. He don't stop knocking. He don't go away, right? Like you got a warrant. They knocking. Like a Jehovah Witness. Like an annoying ass neighbor that mad that your damn bush is 2 inches across their fence. Knocking. Satan is knocking. Sin lieth at the door. So always watch out for that. Always be able to, I pray that you have the ability to identify and resist that, right? Do you keep the lunar Sabbath or the weekly? The lunar Sabbath is a weekly Sabbath, right? And we go off the dark moon. Did I hear they want to take away everybody's car? Yeah, yeah. So I know they want to go electric and they want to put kill switches in everybody's cars. I know about that legislation. I don't know the feasibility. I know they want to. I know it's being proposed. I don't know if it's feasible because I know a sister that she worked for Chevron, and she says it's not even feasible for everybody to go electric like they're trying to force. So, you know, What are things that help me leave the world behind and kill that old man? Um, realizing how much, realizing that what's in the world is bullshit, right? Solomon, when you read Ecclesiastes, Solomon keep coming to the same conclusion. All is vanity and vexation of spirit. When you truly look at what's in the world, it's nothing. It's vanity. And it's just a vexation of spirit. Truthfully. It's bullshit. This is the only thing that's really valuable is the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the Most High. Right? It's the only thing that's truly valuable. Right? So because it's the only thing that's truly valuable, it's no point. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Yahweh Shah told us, I believe it's Matthew 5 and 33, if I'm not mistaken, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all things will be added. So the beautiful thing is, if you truly get steadfast, dedicate yourself to this truth, to this work, to this walk, what'll happen is the things that you wanted out of the world, you'll actually get them, but in righteousness though. You will have to do no wickedness or compromisation in order to obtain the things that, a lot of things at least, some of the things that you're prepared for, that the Most High, he'll give you those things that you were seeking, but in righteousness. And it's so much better that way. So fuck it. Just fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Gorilla, would you debate Bill Carson? He's been throwing shots at the Bible. Yeah, I don't know who Bill Carson is. I have no idea. All right. I have no idea. But here's what I will say. Is he a white, is Bill Carson a white person? Let me ask you that. All praise. We got the Yana Levite priest, a brother I've known many years. And just a good brother. Do we experience any free will, or is it all it's all predestined? Like the story is just playing out like a movie that was already produced. Exactly. We just playing our roles. But from where we're sitting, we have choices. But in actuality, our choices are already made. Right? Billy Carson. Who is that though? That's a white person? Let me ask that. Now, Billy Carson, the brother who was with 19 Keys talking about the UFO. Okay, so that's a brother. Well, yeah, that's possible then. That's possible for sure. Between me and the Forerunner 777 classic. He's still, the Forerunner still out. He still make content. I used to love the Forerunners content. All the Illuminati exposed. When I was first coming to try, I was really off into that. I was really off into that. You know, and you learn. I don't. Again, I haven't looked at the Illuminati exposed content in so long. There's some things that are so blatant. I know the Grammys and all that, and I saw somebody breaking down Rihanna's performance, how Pyramid, the Red, all that. You know, I haven't been into that in years, but in my early time in coming into the truth and learning about all this Illuminati exposed stuff, I learned about the different symbology and the different subtle ways in which the subtle themes, tropes, and you know how they kind of alert people, right? He believes in green and blue people. I mean, yeah, if he's a brother, I'm certainly willing to talk to him. I if he was a white person, I wouldn't care. I'm not. My job is not to make. Now, if I encounter a white atheist, I have no problem dialoguing with him and exposing the stupidity of his ideology. But I don't care to make white people believe in the Bible. That's I don't care about that. Okay, okay. I'll probably I'll take a look at him. I'll try to take a look at him. So you know we got this big debate. Don't forget y'all, March 23rd. PhD scholar, Dr. Michael Brown, Messianic Jew, Dr. Michael Brown, and myself, we were debating who are the legitimate children of Israel, the Ashkenazim or the 12 tribes chart. It's going to be a very interesting debate. It's going down on Berean TV again, March 23rd at 7:30 Eastern. Be there or be square. It is going to be one for the history books, if it be the will of the Most High. Trust and believe you me. You want to tune in March 23rd. All right. Make sure y'all tune in. And don't forget urbangrilla.com, URBNGRLA.com for all your Hebrew Israelite streetwear needs. We got all kind of apparel catering to the Hebrew Israelite community right there. UrbanGorilla.com. Right? Yeah, it's gonna be big. Most High will. But yeah, any other questions though, man? Go ahead, shoot. I'm gonna give y'all some time. I'm trying to, I'm gonna try to make this video end. We have the theme Proverbs 22:3, tale from 2 to 3. Let's try to go 2 hours 23 minutes, somewhere around there. Right. So y'all got me for about 24 more minutes. By the grace of the Most High. Let's go about 24 more minutes. Breaking this on down. All praises. I'm there, bro. Love the biblical battles. Yeah, man. And this, like some people, and I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow for class, because we're gonna review some of the parts of the last 2 videos that came out on the main page. But like, people are like, why are you guys trying to talk to Edomites about the Bible? Number one, they came and challenged us. Right? So we're responding to a challenge. We don't back down to challenges. We're set in defense of the gospel. What are you talking about? Number one. Number two, it's not about teaching them. It's about recording it and putting it on the internet and teaching our people how to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, some of y'all are really dense sometimes, and it's really frustrating. Just shut up. Keep comments like that to yourself. How do you prove all things? Well, that verse is constantly taken out of context. Prove all things means to test all things. So test things out, right? And hold fast to that which is good. So when you hear a new piece of information, when you meet a new person, test them. And if they pass the test, then hold on to it. If you hear some information, you test it to see if it's true. If it comes back true, then you hold on to it. That's what that verse actually means. Test all things and hold on to the things that pass the test. So this is these. I'm not the person to talk to about food and water alternatives. Our Pakistani Ishmaelites know they are Elamites. They come from Elam. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, India, Bangladesh. Them is all the children of Elam. No, you can. Hey, listen. If you biblical questions, you got to ask on class. I've been saying this over and over. This is not. Y'all see this when I'm on Urban Gorilla? Don't ask me for a breakdown on a Bible verse, right? If you want, this is here for wisdom. We're here for things of that nature. All right. You want breakdowns? You go to class on the main page. We have to differentiate. I have to differentiate and diversify the content, right? If I'm doing the same thing here that I'm doing over there, why wouldn't I just do it over there? That's the channel that got 52,000 subs. So I want to make sure something like that gets out to as many people as possible, and they know to come there for that. This is a channel that's more relaxed with the content, more testimonial, wisdom, shooting the shit, things of that nature, right? Look at this. Look at this. Got him out of there, right? Bruce Maker, essentially. That's essentially what's going on. That's literally what's going on. But definitely hit the like. We got 100 people in here now. Hit the like. Again, now, this ain't the time to ask me no breakdowns, but you can ask me advice, wisdom, game, ask me some personal stuff, whatever. We are here. Y'all saw Kyrie put the fringes on his shoes. Those are Native American style shoes. So you got to remember he is a Native American on his mother's side. So that was like a ode to the Native, like an inventive way to pay homage to his Native American ancestry and cover up Nike at the same time. So that was dope. I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that. But make sure y'all hit the like button for sure. And make sure y'all are subscribed if you're not already. And make sure to hit that bell, because periodically I'm going to be going live here, ministering wisdom, things like that. All right here on this channel. Things like that, testimonials, story time, you know, relaxed, not the class environment that we're used to on the other channels, right? I try to get my old friends to go to camp in Sicarii, Philly, and they're not trying to hear it. But if it was a party or something, they're gonna be there in 0.5 seconds. Well, here's the thing about that. So here's what you have to understand, right? Everybody's not gonna catch on at your pace. So this last weekend, we was at the Super Bowl in Phoenix. I called my boy, again, my best friend since 8th grade. And I remember when he got his house, he bought his house, right? And he called me to tell me about it. And he told me all praise to the Most High. He said that. I was like, okay. And he told me, he said, bro, I watch all your videos. I'm like, damn, for real? That's crazy. Like, you can't, especially when you're new. Our first indication is go and try to tell all our friends about this shit. And rarely have I ever heard of that going right. Rarely ever. Right? You got to get this, because I'm gonna be real with you. When you first hear about this, you're going and talking to people and you don't even know how weird you sound. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. You're not really equipped or apt or able to even really break none of this down and minister this properly in a way that is going to be sensible to certain people. You don't usually. So you need to give people their time, right? Everybody's not going to come in at the same time. So some of your friends in 6 months from now, they may be ready. All you got to do is let them know, familiarize them with what you got going on, and then they know. So when their curiosity is piqued, or maybe drop gems here and there, but when their curiosity is piqued, they know you the plug. They go come to you for it, as opposed to you trying to get them to come to camp and things like that. Because like I was with my best friend in AZ, so he told me he watched the videos and he told me, he said all praise to the Most High, shit like that. But he was like, yo, where your AZ niggas at? And I was like, man, they boom, boom, they right there. He went up to the bros and was like, man, where y'all be at and when? I'm trying to pull up. I didn't have to push that on him. That's my nigga. I'm gonna fuck with him regardless. I done been through everything with him. Sleeping outside, nigga gang banging, robbing, fights, everything with him. So that's my nigga regardless. Forsaking an old friend. Ain't that written? Ain't that written in the book of Sirach? Right? So I'm fucking with him regardless. He know everybody who know me, who I grew up with, who are my friends that aren't in this truth, they know who to come to for this shit. Feel me? They know. So that's what you got to do, right? You got to be the plug. You got to be the oil plug. You feel me? You got to, instead of trying to drown these niggas who ain't ready, be the plug. That when they're ready for that thick oil, they know who to come to. You see what I'm saying? Let's see what Shaquad said. Kanye got Adidas down there begging. Exactly. All praises. So let's go. What does Shaquad say? He said, there's still a lot of people that fall into bullshit because they feel like they have to prove themselves to people that really don't care much about them in the first place. So being secure with yourself. Jesus Christ, man. Shaquad. Shaquad. I love you so much. This is a whole nother message I want to minister. Which is, so being secure in yourself will help avoid. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do a whole thing on that. I'm gonna give you a little bit right now. But there's something so amazing about standing on your 10 toes secure in whatever. I was talking to a brother who deals with apparent insecurities, a brother in the truth. And he and I have similar disposition in some ways and not in other ways. But what I told him was, in relating to some of the similarities we have in disposition, and going, bro, listen, I stand a man 10 toes in every single thing I say that I am. Whatever I claim to be, I stand 10 toes in it. I'm unmovable in it. So you can't shake me in that. And being secure in yourself, man, is so important. A lot of these dudes, they really fuck themselves up with the projection of their insecurity. Like I heard, if you who remembers, put a one in the chat if you remember this thing. 21 Savage was getting into it with dude on Clubhouse, and it was viral. And they was talking about niggas was snitching on themselves and shit like that. Put a one in the chat if you remember that. Who remembers that 21 versus I forget dude name. Dude out here from Atlanta from the West Side, Ninth Ward, something like that. Right? Yeah, somebody crazy here. So he had got into it with dude, right? And that whole time, 21 kind of playing with dude, and dude is just he's telling 21 how gangster he is. Man, come on, nigga. I had such and such on the block. Nigga, we shot this nigga. Nigga, come on, nigga, we did all that was because he was insecure. And the reason why he's insecure when 21 is explaining dude's background, he like, man, come on, you was like, you wasn't even one of them niggas, bro. When I was coming around there, you was like a little dirty nigga. You was there, you from that hood, but you wasn't a factor over there, nigga, until all the factors went to jail and you became a default factor. You not even like that. That nigga was going out of his way, jump out of his body, talking on a public platform that's being recorded about all type of crime, not realizing that the projection of his insecurities could potentially land him in jail, especially when we know that the Fulton County District Attorney is going around trying to nail rappers with RICOs. We see what Thug them going through, what Lucci them going through, what the RX niggas going through, etc. Right? So this is what happens with the security thing, and that is a key factor going back into the things that I was saying, going back to my story. If y'all seen the beginning with Quake. With Quake, we freshmen, he want to smoke somebody because I got in an altercation when it didn't even get physical, it just got heated. He want to kill this nigga. I'm explaining Quake, this ain't gonna matter in 5 years. He said, shit, nigga, it ain't gonna matter in 2 weeks. But he just wanted to kill somebody. But again, he was going through resentment, issues, an identity crisis himself. He wanted to be from somewhere. He just wanted to be somebody. And he wanted a reputation. To me, I was so young when I went through that prove myself process because we came up fast in the 90s. So when I moved to the block in 96, I'm 5, right? Summer of 96, so I'm 5, finna be 6 in October. So my first year on the block, bro, I'm a kid. I'm 5, 6 years old. So I'm a mark, whatever. Niggas just beat me up, all kind of shit. Most of the kids on the block is older. So once I adjusted to that, right? I went into the prove myself. Once I got my heart up and okay, I got into the prove myself phase. So if anybody seen Gorilla Hebrew Homecoming, I might put a couple clips from that on this page. I took you to the steps. I got in one of my first. Two of my first fights was on steps. One was on my steps and leading down from my yard to the street, and then around the corner from my house on my block. So we go and So, but the whole reason I got into my second fight was literally proving myself. There was no problem. But I had older homies on the block and they was egging it on because they just wanted to see me fight because they, the good old saying, where your heart at, cuz. That's one of them old saying. So I wanted to prove myself. But mind you, I'm 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years. That's when I'm doing this. That's when I want to prove myself. Right? So because I went through that process so early in life, by the time I get to middle school and high school, I don't give a fuck about proving myself to none of these people. I don't give a fuck about them. I just met them. I just moved here. I proved myself to the people who I cared about proving myself to. That's how I felt. So from this forward, I'm 10 toes in everything that I say that I am. And I praise the Most High that He helped me mature in those aspects fast because a lot of niggas end up in a lot of bullshit because they want to prove themselves. And wanting to prove yourself will put you in a whole lot of bullshit. Prudence and maturity will keep you out of that same bullshit, right? So I'm very happy that that officer Shaquad, man, that you posted that, bro, because that's a key thing, and I have a whole lesson planned on that I'm just gonna do just with the testimonies, because even going back, like bro, Quake, he really wanted to prove himself. He really wanted to be one of them niggas with one of them reputations, and he was willing to crash out. And again, last I heard of him, he was on a high speed chase. So I hope bro is all right. I try to look for him on Facebook. Just thinking about this whole thing, I looked for him on Facebook like yesterday. I couldn't find him. You feel me? Um, I hope bro straight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's niggas, man. You know, it's a lot of niggas, man. We grew up with, bro. That I mean, I know a lot more niggas that's in jail, in prison, and died for sure. But as niggas dead, it's a lot of niggas in prison. A lot of niggas just fucked off in life in a horrible situation because of strings of bad decisions. And a lot of it had to do with proving they said some niggas didn't want to prove themselves, man. And I'm glad the Most High took me through that stage when I was a fucking child, literally, because wanting to prove myself, like want to prove yourself, man, that shit can really fuck you up in life. That goes into a scripture in Sirach when it says, like, seek not to be made equal when you in the council of the elders. That's even some prove yourself shit. You know, fuck that proving yourself shit, bro. Stand a man, stand 10 toes. On whatever you say you are, just stand 10 toes and be immovable in that. Feel me? And you don't need to prove yourself because you're going to exude whatever you say you are. So there's going to be no question. You feel me? There's going to be no question. And if somebody don't believe it, who the fuck are they that I got to prove myself to you anyway? Fuck you, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I posted a picture of, like, on my family one day, and people are commenting, "Oh man, can't nobody say he's not an Israelite. Look at his dad." And it's like, bro, I didn't post that for that. I don't give a fuck what these people think. I know who the fuck I am. I post that because my family, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not posting. I'm not trying to prove to nobody I'm an Israelite, bro. Listen. If you can't see that, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I do not know what to tell you. It's funny because what is an Israelite? Obviously, it's son of Jacob, but it's funny because I just watched the video, 6 black men versus 1 white guy, Milk 74. Shout out Milk 74. And he that is everybody, he's white, right? But born and raised black people in South Central LA. And bro, like literally everybody blindfolded, he sound like the blackest person in the room. If you just go by sounds black, whatever that means, right? He sound like, and he won the game because it was guess the white boy and nobody guessed him, right? They didn't eliminate him, right? So it was cold. It was a cold scenario. But that is an exposure of the whole sound black thing, Black people don't just come from one background. Black people don't just have one circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So what are we gonna do? Discount the other guy's blackness because of how they enunciate, how they talk, their familiarity with things. I think that there's a kind of an urban or a ghetto, quote unquote, culture that is typically categorized with black people, but other people can be a part of it and exude it. And if you had a blindfold on, you would think they were black, right? So we got to start marginalizing people like that because when people talk proper, he's talking white, and like that it's problematic because all them brothers there that was there, you can't deny or diminish their blackness because white guy from South Central, he talks more in what is commonly classified as black than them, but they've experienced what it is to be black, right? As far as the racism and things like that. When you deal with Milk has a very great understanding being white, but growing up with black people. When he be analyzing, if you watch his reaction videos, when he analyzes things, he has a perfect understanding, a perfect understanding of both perspectives. Like I'm talking about, he be breaking shit down. Like he pick up on all the microaggressive racism white people do, all of it, boom, and he could dissect it perfectly, right? But then also he could speak and analyze on the black side because, of course, even though he's not black, he grew up around nothing but black people. You see what I'm saying? So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, like, oh, like Robert Marquette, like they'll be, oh, this fool's whitewashed. Or, all that. And again, we don't talk one way. And I've don't get it twisted. I've said things like that. I felt like that about certain people. Don't get it twisted. But I've matured past looking like that. Like, oh man, this nigga talk like what? You know what I'm saying? Because some people can say that about me sometimes. Like when I'm in my relax, when I'm casually talking, like I've been on this video, obviously not. But so I clean it up and really articulate. But you can still be articulate and relaxed, articulate and you know in hood, so to speak, right? But you ain't got to be. But I'm gonna tell you when I'm watching, I'm like, damn, man, these nigga, man. Like, oh yeah, no, I went to a PWI, and even like using the term PWI, I feel like, man, what the fuck are you niggas talking about, man? I get it. A predominantly white is you're a black person who went to a college that was mostly white. Okay, man, fuck that. I went to a PWI, and when I was at the PWI, man, listen, man, nigga get to talking like that, man. I'd have chose milk too. Give me, even though I know him, right? I know him, right? Not like personally, but I know his content. So I'd be like, bro, come on. Even though I know I'm still gonna pick you. But best way to invest 10 racks. I mean, it just depends, bro. It depends. But here's I'm gonna tell y'all me and my investment strategy, my business strategy, right? My investment strategy is before I make an investment, especially a large one, um, business wise, business wise, there's other types of investments as well. We can talk about it at a different time. Business wise, I do business in a way that accelerates profits, right? I'm into an accelerated track, an expedited track to the black. Let's call it that. The expedited track to the black. I want to create a business or I want to invest in businesses that can get me in the black fast. I don't want to be waiting a year, 2 years, even 6 months for profits, right? What do I mean profits? I mean capital that exceeds whatever was initially invested in total, right? So if I put 10,000 in, another brother put 10,000, there's 20,000. I want to in 90 days us be already have made that 20 back, and now we're profiting. We're past that 20 in profits, and now we're actually putting money in our pocket. That's how I get that, right? So I suggest whatever you're gonna put 10,000 into, it has an expedited track to the black in your business plan that you're going to start turning a profit fast. And the profit is every single dollar above that in which you've invested. So you invested 10, profit started at 10,000, and when that business made $10,001, you're now profiting. Whatever's going to get you profitable the fastest. That's what I would advise. I don't like sitting around in my money waiting on my 2 and 3 years for my money to flip for me. That's me. But we're at 2 minutes, 2 hours, 22 minutes, 30 something seconds. So I'll take one more from y'all before I close out with Tales from the 223 tonight. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope it was edifying. Again, we're taking a different approach to the content on this channel as we have been. So make sure you subscribe if you're not. Make sure to hit that notification bell for sure, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't put a timeline on how long you should study before you start teaching because everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. Right. So, it just depends. But with that, I'm gonna give all praise to the most high. and sign out. Shalom, y'all.